taking the time for time off and vacation, I will confess, as an early young lawyer, I had this impression that, my gosh, if I was gone for a week on vacation, all my cases would fall apart. And I learned over the years I'm not quite that important, and that things actually can continue to go on in my absence, and the world will continue to operate in my absence. And so really it's a matter of just, planning it and doing it. And I think it is, I'm getting ready to go on a vacation in a week with my daughter to Europe, and I'm going to unplug. And we are going to both of us take a mental break. And I think that is so, so, so important. It's very easy to push that by the wayside because you're busy and you have deadlines. But the older I've gotten, and the more I have realized how important that is. I protect it and I make it happen. And I'm just not willing to give it up. Fortunately, I've got great people I work with that I can, be gone. I'm going to be gone actually for 2 weeks. And so I have planned ahead. I let everybody know I've got all my things in line. I will be available if there's some, earth-shattering emergency, but I've kind of told everybody to leave me alone. So I think, making sure that you're taking some time off for yourself. We are, and I think this is particularly true after COVID. It was sort of this way before COVID. And it was definitely not this way as much when I first started practicing. So when I first started practicing, it was just a slower pace. We didn't have constant emails and text. Things happened slower. People actually wrote letters to each other and faxed them back and forth. And so there wasn't this instantaneous thing that we had to stay on. And so that has changed over the years. I think when COVID hit and people started working remotely, I know that I fell into this trap for a little while. There really wasn't a end or beginning to my workday. It kind of just, it was all the time. And it just, because you're there and there's not really a separation in your life. And I had to really take a step back after a while and say, I need to treat my home days like a work day, and not just work all the time. And I think that I think that's the one. I love the ability to work remotely and have the flexibility to do that when you need to. I think the one thing that is dangerous for me, I have to be very thoughtful about it myself, is creating the boundaries of my work and my home, because it's very easy to fall into you just work all the time unless you're asleep phase. So I think making sure that you're paying attention to boundaries. The other thing I think is making sure, and it's hard when you're a younger lawyer, and you just have to kind of trial and error it, is to sort of think about what it takes to meet deadlines and make sure that you're planning far enough in advance that everything isn't a fire drill. That's the thing that really, to me, boost that stress level unnecessarily high, is when there are just constant fire drills, and fire drills will happen, but they really don't need to happen all the time. So I think being able to figure out a system for yourself where you're organized and you can plan ahead and try to avoid the fire drills whenever possible just makes things from a mental health perspective a little easier.